Josh Miller, B106, B106.com. Coach Langford, the Mustangs baseball head coach, joins us here today on the Mustangs Express. Coach, 16-6 last year, 10-5 in Tri-Valley League play. A great season and finish to what was 2011. 2012, what are going to be some keys to this year's success?
Well, I think we've got to find another couple guys who can pitch as well as Dave Garcia did last year. Of course, we left him, and he left us, and he's playing at Colby Community College right now, and that's a big hole to fill. And I'm hoping that we've got a couple of juniors this year that could step in and kind of fill that void and be as productive as he was last year. But if we could find somebody to do that, and if Matt Godo can just do what Matt did last year, I'm hoping we could have similar results this year.
You mentioned a key loss, Coach. What are going to be, or who are going to be, the key returners this year to repeat success of last?
We are fortunate that we do return a lot of guys. Nick Garver was an honorable mention all-conference guy for us last year in center field. Matt Godo returns. He's a left fielder, third baseman, pitcher that was all-conference last year and runner-up for Conference Player of the Year. We return all-conference first baseman Aaron Anderson. We return honorable mention all-conference catcher Justin Flug. And those are going to be kind of the guys that are going to carry us for the majority of this season.
Now in high school,
we also do have our shortstop as well. That was all conference, Mike Fitzsimmons. So it'll be nice to have those guys at the top of the lineup. Kind of hopefully pave the way for everybody else.
Pretty good core group returning.
Sure.
Now, the joy of high school sports, we get a new crop of kids every year. As far as varsity is concerned, or even as the program's concerned, who are some up-and-coming players to watch?
We feel real high about Ulysses Hernandez as our second baseman, who will fill in there and take over the spot kind of manned by Trent Westover last year, who was a senior. And we're hoping he can do some big things. On the mound, we think that David Mendez could be that guy to take Dave Garcia's spot from last year. And he can also see some time in the outfield and be productive for us. Nate Alexander is going to be a guy who had an outstanding summer on the mound and in the outfield. And we're hoping that he can come in and do some good things in right field. And the last one at third base is Misael Franco, who had a great summer and really played well defensively and put the ball in play for us at third base. So we're hoping those guys can do some good things for us and just kind of do what they did last summer.
Now, with the players covered, from a philosophy standpoint, Coach, what are some things the team as a whole are going to have to execute day in, day out, so at the end of the year when it's said and done and the chips fall, it's another successful season for Fort Morgan?
Well, we're going to have to put the ball in play. We can't afford as many strikeouts as we have done in the past. And to do that, we've got to hit the ball earlier in the count and not wait till we get two strikes. And then we've got to believe and practice our two-strike approach a lot more than probably what we have in the past. We do have a lot of speed this year, more so than we had last year. So I think we're going to have to learn to hit and run and steal the bases a little better and spend a little more time on base running and trying to take advantage of some of the speed that we've got. Pitching-wise, I think that we do have guys who are able to attain some strikeouts, but they also need to learn to hit their spots and pitch inside and outside and mix pitches with the fastball and the off-speed a little bit better than we have in the past because our conference is pretty good this year. Everybody is stronger in the conference. I don't think one team got weaker, so we're going to have to step up just about all phases of our game.
You mentioned the conference being strong. Conference play open up a couple weeks from now, but as far as the presence concerned, you guys had the chance to run out and scrimmage this weekend. What are some things the ball club did that encouraged you?
Well, we did some things well, especially against Thornton, not as much against Sterling. But against Thornton, we did a good job of putting the ball in play. I think that we only struck out one time, which was an area that I was concerned with this year, and I was pleased against Thornton that we we were able to put the ball in play and hit the ball well. Pitching wise against Thornton, Dave Mendez did an excellent job on the mound. Had a real dominant performance, and Nate Alexander came in and took a little while to get going. In his first inning, his fastball wasn't locating, and he had a tough time there. So he's going to have to come out of the bullpen ready to go instead of taking an inning to get ready. But against Sterling, I thought that they played tough. They were better than we were. I thought they put the ball in play more than we did and strung hits together. They played a little bit better routine defense, and I thought they threw more strikes than our guys did. We threw our number 5, 6, 7 against them, and those guys struggled throwing strikes. So we've got some ways to go with our lower guys and the pitching rotation to throw more strikes, and they've got to learn to locate a little bit better than what we did in the scrimmage. But I was pleased with their effort, and I was pleased with their energy and enthusiasm, and sometimes that can get the kids to work hard and improve and see if we can make those strides to be better when we play Sterling again the next time.
Now looking ahead to the Mustang Classic starting Thursday, opening up this year officially. Platte Valley at noon and Brush at 6. What are some things you'd like to see out of your team, or what are some hurdles in your way as you set to play Platte Valley and Brush here Thursday?
Well, I'm just hoping that we can overcome some of those defensive miscues that we had. Those teams are going to put the ball in play a little bit more than Thornton was able to, and we're going to have to rely on our defense. So that's going to be an area of emphasis this week is for our infielders to get better and handle situations better and throw the ball accurately to first base. I also think that our pitchers need to come out with all of their pitches working. We can't afford to wait around in the first or second inning and not have a pitch working. We need to come out of the bullpen with everything working and ready to go. So that way we're able to throw multiple pitches for strikes from the first pitch of the game. And I think those are the two areas we really need to shore up, and hopefully we can have a good weekend if we can do those two things. But the teams that we're going to play with, Platte Valley and Brush, are always good, tough teams, and they're going to be teams that'll challenge us, and we definitely have to play well if we want to have a chance to compete.
Coach Langford joining us here on B106, B106.com, Mustangs Express. Coach, Mustangs Classic Thursday opens the season. Weather's been a little bit of an issue, but doesn't look like it will be here this week. In preparation for the season, has that been a little bit of a hurdle, getting enough time outside?
I think we've done well getting outside. We've been outside every day except for one, and I realize that it's been a little bit cold and a little bit windy, but all those days have been playable. If it's not raining or snowing or muddy, then usually we can get out there and get some things done. And I feel like we've been able to kind of conquer the cold and just dress warm and do the best we can outside. We really need to take advantage of those days, especially earlier in the season, to get outside no matter what the elements might be, and just kind of tough it out and dress warm. So, no, I feel we've had enough outside time that that's not going to be an excuse for us as to having any downfalls or problems. So we'll be out again this week. It's supposed to be nice, and hopefully, we can put a good showing on for this weekend.
Well, Coach, we thank you for joining us here today and wish you the best of luck this season. We'll be touching back on a weekly basis and following you this year as it goes. 16-6 last year for the Mustangs. Set to get underway Thursday with the Mustang Classic, 12 o'clock, noon, Platte Valley, and 6 o'clock, the nightcap with Brush. Coach Langford, thanks for joining us here today.
Hey, you bet, and we look forward to working with you guys this season.
You're listening to the Mustang Express, B106, B106.com. Fort Morgan baseball off to a quick start. 3-1 are the Mustangs after the Mustang Classic and their non-conference game against Valley on Monday. Coach Josh Langford, the Mustangs head baseball coach, joins us here this afternoon. Coach, 3-1 is the team. Eliminate that sixth inning against Brush, and you guys are perfect this season. Here early on, what are your thoughts after the tournament play in the Classic and your game Monday against Valley?
Well, it's nice to get off to a good start and try and gain some confidence going into the opener of our conference season. I'm hoping that can transition into a conference win against Northridge for sure. That opponent is going to be nothing like the first four. Northridge is definitely a better team than any of the four that we've faced so far, and I'm hoping that we can definitely kind of have a head start. I know they've only played one game, and hoping that a good beginning to the season might be an advantage to maybe squeak out a win if we can against a good Northridge team that we got coming up.
An interesting weekend. We, as you mentioned, Northridge noon on Saturday, and then load the bus back up and head cross town to Berthoud. You mentioned, Tri-Valley League play is going to be tough, but your team's proven here early on they can score runs.
Yeah, we have done a good job of scoring runs. I think we've got something like 40 and allowed 8, so that's always nice. But the quality of pitching that we will see as far as the Tri-Valley Conference goes is going to be a lot tougher than what we've seen earlier this year, and I would look for the runs to go down, and we're going to have to rely on our defense a lot more because people are going to be able to put the ball in play against our pitchers, and it's going to be very difficult and definitely not as easy as our non-league schedule.
Head Mustangs baseball coach Josh Langford joins us here on the Mustang Express. Coach, pitching is always a key to success. Your pitching staff this year has really gone out and performed. What excites you here early on with their performances?
Well, with Dave, it's been nice to see him have so many strikeouts. I think he's got 20 strikeouts so far this year in a couple of outings, and that's real promising to see that he's getting ahead of hitters and putting the pressure on them right away. Definitely takes a lot of pressure off the defense to have to come out and make every play. But there is going to be a time where our pitchers are going to rely on our defense, and we're going to need them to throw strikes, and teams are going to put the ball in play, and our defense has to be ready. So I'm hoping that our boys are up for the challenge and are going to be focused every pitch because it's only a matter of time until the ball gets hit to them. With Matt Godo, I was very pleased with his outing against Brush, and then he came in relief and threw really well against Valley in his one inning of relief. So that was promising, and that's kind of a formula that we want to try against Northridge when we go up there, is to start Dave and come in relief with Matt Godo and see how that goes. Hopefully they can follow suit what they did against Valley, and maybe we'll be in a position to win come the 6th or 7th inning.
And you mentioned pitching's been pretty efficient, which is taking the load off the defense. But defensively, you guys haven't made too many mistakes. And here early on, you've experimented with some of these back picks and defensive plays that have really worked out in your favor. Those are the things I anticipate we'll see through conference play?
Definitely. It's something we've done for a couple of years now, and we feel that if a base runner gets on base, he's out there to try and pick him off and try and catch him sleeping. And we try and put what we think are low-risk plays in and try and execute them. And it's bailed us out of a lot of jams and kind of changed the momentum of games around for us. And we're hoping we can execute those if we get the opportunity. On the other end of it, there is a couple of them that are kind of high-risk, high-reward. And we failed to execute them a couple times, and it's busted the game wide open for somebody else. So we have to be real careful on our timing, making sure that we're not in a situation where we're already behind, where maybe we throw a ball away, or a situation where it would let a team back in the ball game. So we just got to make sure that all players are on the same page, whether it be our pitcher, our infielders, or even our outfielders who are supposed to be there to back up stuff. So like I say, it's just one of those things. We feel a base runner is out there to be picked off, and we think we've got a couple different ways to try and pick someone off if they're sleeping or a little bit slow.
Coach, as we head towards this weekend, you guys have had a full week of rest, but what, if any, hurdles are you going to deal with pitching-wise or defensively speaking as you head towards conference play and then follow that Northridge game at 4 with Berthoud? Any hurdles there playing 2 games in that day?
Well, we're definitely not going to be saving anybody for Berthoud. We're totally focused and thinking of our Northridge game, and we will use our best available players, whether it be pitchers or base runners or our best possible lineup will be against Northridge, and definitely not thinking, we need to save this guy for the Berthoud game, because really the Berthoud game is meaningless when you consider it's not even a Tri-Valley League game. So we've got to find a way to get through that one and then see who's left over and available to pitch against Berthoud, and also who maybe we can experiment with another guy in the outfield or infield somewhere against Berthoud as well. But we've just got to be ready to play, and all of our attention needs to focus on Northridge and make sure no one's looking past them to our 4 o'clock game. To be honest, we really haven't even talked much about Berthoud in practice this week, or focused on who we're going to see from Berthoud. We kind of know we're going to see Northridge's ace. His name is Brock Best, or at least that's who we think is their ace this year. They've only played 1 game so far, and he beat us last year. So we know that we're facing a really good pitcher who beat us and what we thought was a pretty good team last year. So we will have our hands full, and it's not going to be easy, and we can't think too far ahead, that's for sure.
Mustangs back in action on Saturday. Tri-Valley League opener against Northridge on the road at noon, followed by the non-league play at Berthoud at 4 o'clock. We'll have both games covered for you on B106 and B106.com. Coach Josh Langford, the Fort Morgan head baseball coach, thank you for joining us here today and giving your thoughts on the weekend, and best of luck here on Saturday.
No problem, and we appreciate your support and all the fans out there who listen, and hopefully we have a good Saturday.
Josh Miller with head baseball coach Josh Langford. Coach, not the weekend we had hoped for. Tough game on Saturday to start things off against the Northridge Grizzlies. Your ball club showed up and started the game very well. Close ball game to the 4th inning, and that 4th inning, a couple walks early, put some base runners on, a couple pass balls, led to a run, and then no real offensive damage by the Grizzlies outside of some seeing eye singles that their momentum just couldn't, you guys just couldn't stop their momentum as they went on to score 8 runs in that inning.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of felt like we were starting to gain the momentum. Cole had the big hit to drive in a run, and then we got a out thrown out at the plate out there, and could have potentially tied it there, but I was feeling good about things and went out there the bottom of the 4th, and Northridge strung a few hits together, took advantage of a couple walks. We made a few fielding miscues, a couple pass balls, and led to a huge inning for them. And I think the one that really broke our back was the bases-loaded triple that cleared the bases. And then as we're supposed to be bringing that ball in, we overthrow our third baseman and gave him kind of the old-fashioned in-the-park home run Little League style, I guess. But that was the one that really hurt the most in that inning.
Anything you saw from your perspective that went wrong with Mendez? I mean, he was working and throwing the ball well, and didn't really see anything go wrong with him. I mean, a couple 1-2 pitches where location-wise, just too good of a pitch to hit in that count. But anything you saw from your side of things?
Yeah, for him, his 2 out pitches are, number 1, the high and inside fastball, or number 2 is the curveball in the dirt right behind home plate. And twice in that game, he gave up 1-2 hits to guys where he's supposed to drop that curveball right behind home plate in the dirt where they can't touch it, and they end up chasing it. And those were the 2 that we really noticed. While he's not putting the ball where we know he is capable of putting it. So Northridge strung together a few hits, had a walk. I felt the momentum was changing, and it was time for a change, and brought in Matt Godo, and he did an excellent job of throwing strikes, but Northridge was all over him. And matter of fact, I think they hurt him a little bit more than they hurt Dave. But it was time for a change, and I wasn't going to let Dave stay out there the whole time. Thought I could bring in Matt, and maybe he could stop the bleeding. But Northridge really took advantage of those situations where they had those runners on base and strung hits together, and they did a lot of damage in that 4th inning.
Good hitting's contagious, and the Grizzlies caught it in the 4th inning. Coach, we haven't seen him much this year, but Ulysses Hernandez came in and finished that baseball game, and he threw well there in those last 2 innings.
Yeah, he did. That was exciting to see. He struck out the first 4 outs that he registered, and that was exciting to see him come in and really kind of try and contain things. He did run into a little bit of a problem in that 6th inning. They had runners on 2nd and 3rd, and got behind in the count, so we just went ahead and walked him and loaded up the bases, and we were run away from getting 10 ran, and luckily he gave us a ground ball we could work with, and got ourselves a 6-4-3 double play to get out of the inning and out of the scare, and allowed us to play a whole ball game with Northridge. But offensively, gosh, I felt that we did a good job. We did have 7 hits, several other hits. Ulysses had 3 deep fly balls that were hit well, caught every time. But, I wasn't disappointed in our offense, and really defensively, I think we had 2 defensive mistakes that did hurt us, and a couple of those pass balls in that inning was not very characteristic like of Justin Flug, and that's really what led to their big inning.
You mentioned, Coach, in our last conversation, Berthoud wasn't much of a concern for you guys as far as thought process was concerned going into the weekend. All the eggs were put in the Northridge basket. Mm-hmm. You guys did bounce back in that Berthoud afternoon nightcap with a solid victory there, using some guys you didn't use in that Northridge game, but a collective team effort as you guys bounced back and did some serious damage in the nightcap.
Yeah, I was a little nervous and a little worried about how this team would come back and bounce back after a tough loss with Northridge, but we got off to a great start in the 1st inning. Their pitcher had a few problems with control, and then when he did give us a strike, we were able to hit, able to steal several bases early, and that took the pressure definitely off how I was feeling and off the team's mind, and I think we were able to put together maybe 15 runs in the first 3 innings, and Nate did a great job of his pitching appearance coming back from a tough outing against Brush, and he came back and did an excellent job and threw a great 4 innings.
Now in Tri-Valley League competition, you start the season off with a loss. That's not a sign of, I don't think, things to come for the overall season, but the scheduling a little bit different here with Northridge than most other Tri-Valley League foes, where you're going to see every competitor twice in 1 week. Northridge is going to be spread out over the season, so you'll likely see them again at their best. What are some things you're looking to do this week in practice as you head towards the Northridge series the end of this week?
We've got to hit the outside fastball a little bit better than what we did against Northridge. They were able to put the ball in the corner, and we fouled off a lot of those instead of driving to the right center gap. I think defensively, we need to work more of the awkward situations that maybe we don't come across every day, and try and get those shored up, whether it be runners on 2nd and 3rd or a few of our 1st and 3rd situations. And I think pitching-wise, we need to work on our out-pitch, obviously, with Dave, make sure we're getting that curveball in the dirt instead of up in the zone where it could be touched, and make sure that Matt Godo is ready to go for Windsor on Thursday and take care of him, get his running in, make sure his arm's not sore, and we'll be going with him against a tough Windsor team on Thursday who beat a very solid Thompson Valley team last week, and they've really got me concerned because they do have a new coach this year, and they've already shown that they can beat a great team in Thompson Valley. So it is not going to be an easy one with Windsor.
On the road Thursday against Windsor, back at home on Saturday as you finish up that series here at American Legion Ballpark. You mentioned Windsor's going to be a tough competition. You've in the early discussions, everybody in Tri-Valley League play, the anticipation is going to be tough, and your ball club's got to show up. Anything else here finishing up this afternoon, Coach, as far as comparisons between early season competition to what you anticipate against Windsor, or imagine you'll throw your best 9 out there and get back after it again on Thursday?
Yeah, it's kind of been good looking at the stats, trying to find out who those top 9 hitters are, and trying to finagle a way to get those top 9 hitters into a lineup. So it'll be nice to have a few days before we play on Thursday, so that way we can talk about it and let the team know, hey, this is where you stand, this is where you stand. You're not one of our top 9, you are our top 9, and this is why you will be playing, and this is why you will not. And it's nice to let the kids know where they stand, so there's no surprises, no whining, no crying, no complaining. It's like, hey, we've had 6 games to prove ourselves. This is our best 9 right now at this moment, and it'll be good to have a few days to tweak on some things with some kids and try and get them back where they need to be and keep other kids where they're at. So I am excited about that, and to kind of reward the kids that have proved themselves through these first 6 games.
Well, Coach, appreciate you joining us. Mustangs here as it sits 0-1 in Tri-Valley League play. Look to bounce back on Thursday on the road against a Windsor ball club that should be a good test for them to see how they answer back after the tough loss against Northridge on last Saturday, losing 10-1 and then bouncing back against Berthoud in the nightcap big 16-2. Coach Langford, appreciate you joining us. Best of luck on Thursday.
Hey, we appreciate your support.
Head Fort Morgan baseball coach Josh Langford joins us this afternoon. Coach, thanks for taking time to talk with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Mustangs right now sit 6-2 overall, 2-1 in Tri-Valley League play. 3-game winning streak, Coach, with 2 big wins against Windsor. Week of spring break, and now we get set for a busy week. 3 baseball games this week, starting off Tuesday with Northridge.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. I think they thumped us pretty soundly last time we played, and I'm hoping that we don't let an inning get away from us and snowball like it did last time.
Well, that's just it. 6-2, the 2 losses really eliminate 2 innings from this baseball season, and you're probably 8-0.
Yeah, you could look at it that way a little bit. I think Northridge offensively, we still wouldn't have done enough to maybe win that game. But definitely, I think against Brush, we were in pretty good control of that game and let that inning slip away from us, and that was the difference there. But yeah, you could look at it that way too. But in the end, you still have to play 7 innings well, and it was those 1 innings that cost us.
Well, you mentioned hitting, Coach. If my numbers are somewhat accurate, your team's batting a little over 330, 336 to be exact on the year. Your pitching staff's doing their part, and opponents only batting 209.
Yeah, I've been really pleased with our pitching this year, and for the most part, our defense has been pretty good. I am pleased with how the pitchers are starting to get ahead with strike 1 versus ball 1, and I think that's the biggest part of our guys is that if we can put the pressure on the hitter right away, it sure makes life a lot easier for both the defense and the pitching. So we don't want guys to just be able to tee off on us because they know which pitch is coming. We just need to keep them off balance by throwing multiple first pitch strikes.
Last time we talked after the loss to Northridge, offensively you weren't really happy with the way your hitters approach those at-bats, not taking some of those baseballs the other way. As we get set for Northridge here tomorrow, has your team made that adjustment, or do you feel like that's still a work in progress?
Well, I do feel like it is still a work in progress, and we work on it, we talk about it, and then will they actually execute it is going to be the question. I think that the guys think that they need to pull every pitch, that's where they hit the best, and that's not always where the pitch is going to be, and that's not always where the umpires are going to call them. And we've got to learn to go the other way and use the right field, opposite field approach and see if we can't get more hits going the other way. And something that Northridge does well is they throw on the outside half of the plate really well, and we've got to be prepared for that and be ready to go the other way. And, hopefully the preparation will finally pay off once we get a second chance at them.
Saw Brock Best last time out, big, tall, right-handed kid. Anticipate we'll see him here for the baseball game with them tomorrow, or somebody else?
I think we'll see him again. I don't know for sure, but I do think that we'll see him again. And he's tough. He throws hard. He's got a changeup that he can sneak in there to fool you, and if you make contact with it, you usually get yourself out. And he's got a decent curveball, but he throws hard enough to keep you honest. You have to load. You have to prepare early. And if we can hit those fastballs and those fastball counts, hopefully we can string a few together and put a few runs up. But if we have a tough time and decide to watch that first pitch strike go by on the outside corner, it might be a long day for the Mustangs. So we've got to be ready to hit the ball the other way from the first pitch.
3 games this week, Tuesday at home against Northridge, then on the road to Frederick Thursday, then back at home to finish the Frederick series on Saturday. A look at your thought process, pitching-wise, and just approach to this week. What are some things that you guys are going to have to do to make this week successful?
Well, we had Matt Godo leave on a little vacation, so his arm's not going to be in shape to go on Tuesday against Northridge. Northridge has already seen David Mendez, so we're probably not going to throw him. So we've got an idea that we might try multiple pitchers against Northridge and see what kind of happens with that strategy. We'll probably start Nate Alexander and bring James Martins in relief, and then finish with Ulysses Hernandez and see how much mileage we can get out of those three guys. And then that still leaves us in pretty good shape for our Frederick series, where we probably start Dave Mendez on the Thursday, and then hopefully Matt Godo will be back in shape, ready to go on Saturday versus Frederick. So that's kind of how we're looking at it at the long term. Of course, always things change during the week. Things always change in the game. It could be possible you might see Matt Godo in relief as early as Tuesday in late inning relief type situation.
Again, a busy week here for the Mustangs. Coach, not to get ahead of ourselves, tomorrow's a big game against the Northridge Grizzlies, but we do have a Tri-Valley League series against Frederick. What is the anticipation, or what do you expect to see from that Frederick ball club here in the series later in the week?
You know, they're playing well. They really thumped Erie last week, and have played competitively with some of the other teams out there. I believe that they played a real close one with Roosevelt, and it is not going to be an easy game. None of them are pushovers, and, Frederick, they've got some talented kids that all played last year and that we all remember. And we know that they're better this year than what they were last year, and we've definitely got to show up and play baseball. You can't just go through the motions and act like you're supposed to be there. You got to want to be there, and you got to do something to win. So that's what we're going to try and emphasize this week.
Coach, appreciate you taking time. The Mustangs sit 6-2 overall, 2-1 in Tri-Valley League play. A busy week this week with a Northridge ball game tomorrow at home and the Frederick series to close out the weekend. Coach, best of luck this week with the ball.
Hey, we appreciate your support.
Head Mustangs baseball coach Josh Langford joins me this afternoon. Coach, Mustangs on a roll, 8-3 overall, 4-2 in Tri-Valley League play. Tough loss to start things off against Northridge as they got the better of you on Wednesday afternoon, 14-3. Overall, nothing really your ball club did wrong. That's just a great baseball team.
Yeah, that's the way we tried to sell it to the kids after the game, that we didn't really do anything too wrong. It's just Northridge did a lot right, and it's tough to defend 15 hits, 7 of them doubles, 1 of them a home run, and our kids were throwing strikes and doing the best that they could, and the defense really didn't allow something to snowball because of problems with our defense. It was just trying to stop Northridge from hitting the ball, and we went through 4 different pitchers, but just kind of seemed whoever we threw up there, it didn't matter on that day. They were on, and they were pretty cohesive as a group, and that was a pretty good hitting clinic, it seemed like, that they put on to show us.
Yeah, they can definitely swing the bats, that's for sure. Team did bounce back on the road against Frederick. 5-1 win, windy afternoon. Bats never really completely got going, and defensively kind of let them stay in that baseball game. But nonetheless, bounced back Saturday with a big win, 12-1. That had to be a positive finish to the week for your team in Tri-Valley League play, picking up 2 wins.
Definitely. We'll take 2 or 3 games in the Tri-Valley any week, and I was very pleased with our pitching. I really felt our pitching carried us through both the games. Mendez and Godo did a great job of getting ahead of hitters for the most part, and having good stuff, dominating guys, and really being effective with their fastball and their off-speed pitches. And it was really nice on Saturday to be able to get a little bit of distance from Frederick and play with a big lead. And I just thought the kids had a pretty complete game against Frederick the second time around. The first time, I think we only manufactured 3 runs offensively. We got a little help with the pass ball and a bad throw from the catcher to third base to help us with 2 of those 5 runs. But I was a little worried about Saturday and where we would be. But luckily we had runners get on, and we were able to execute, and we were able to sweep. So that's huge headed into Skyline.
Yeah, defensively, Coach, couple opportunities we talked about early in the year with your guys' wheel play up the middle at second or back picks at first. Eliminated some of the Frederick threats, especially in that Saturday game. They started things off with an RBI double, and you proceed to pick off the runner and kind of kill that just as it got started.
Yeah, those pickoffs have been huge for us this year, and we were able to do 2 of them against Northridge. One of them just kind of a pick we run before we come set at second base, and then, of course, the old wheel play on a bunt coverage with them on second base, and that can definitely kind of kill an inning that was going to get started, and something that we do work on quite a bit. We feel if there's a base runner on base, we're going to try and pick them off at some point in time, and it's definitely can be a high risk, high reward type situation, and sometimes we're in a position to take the gamble, and if we execute it enough times, then we get confident in it and try and do it again. But yeah, it's nice to have those in our back pocket to try. Doesn't mean they always work, but we try and make them as risk-free as possible.
Well, on the offensive side of things, your team now batting .363 overall with great performances here by Nate Alexander, Cole Frisbee, Aaron Anderson, James Martins has been a little bit of a surprise, and also Matt Godo. Those 5 Mustangs all batting .375 or higher. I felt like Saturday just watching you guys play, your speed and the threat on the base pass opened up some holes the team was able to capitalize on. Nate Alexander, an opposite field 3-run home run. Team starting to hit the ball all over the ballpark. That's got to make you happy.
It is, because a lot of it is throughout the lineup spread out, and it's nice to have a little bit of production from everywhere. We have a few other guys that we really need to get going, and if we can get 9 guys on the same page at the same time, I think we'd be a pretty tough team. But fortunately, we are having enough guys that are doing the job. Guys who are struggling are still able to contribute with some sacrifice bunts, or they're also getting on base with either getting hit by pitch or a walk here and there. So the guys who are struggling are still finding a way on base, whether it be it may not be through hits, but it is through contributing through a sacrifice bunt or hit by pitch or a walk. But once we can get all 9 guys swinging the bat at the same time, I really think that maybe we could make a run for that postseason and get us 8 wins in the conference and kind of see what happens.
Now set to take on a Skyline Ball Club. Looking at their season so far, Coach, struggling a little bit, 2-7 overall, 0-4 in Tri-Valley League play. With Matt Godo and David Mendez as solid as they are up to this point on the mound, we expect to see them this week in those 2 games on Tuesday and Thursday?
Definitely. It'll be Mendez's turn on Tuesday, and Godo will go on Thursday. But they've played some tough teams. They're 0-4 in the Tri-Valley, but that's against Sterling and it's against Roosevelt. And this weekend, I thought they played Roosevelt pretty tough, 5-1, 6-1. So I think they have the ability to pitch. And if you fell asleep defensively and had some miscues, you'd give them a big inning and they can come up and bite you. So in no way did Sterling dominate them, nor did Roosevelt as well. So matter of fact, I think Sterling had to go an extra inning or 2 against them the second time around when they played just to squeak out a win versus Skyline. So they're much improved this year than what they were last year, just about like every team in this conference.
I think weather's going to be, always in Colorado region, but possible weather the end of the week. Would that throw a hitch in the rotation, or with the rest involved, Godo on the back end of this series would likely be ready to go?
Yeah, we'd probably be able just to keep it the same, I think. I really hope we are able to play later this week so it doesn't mess up our rotation. And since we don't play on Saturday, gosh, we might be sitting pretty good while everyone else is scrambling for their pitching, and maybe they're going to be put in a spot for 3 games in a 4 or 6 day stretch. So it would be ideal if we can get them both in, but if not on Thursday, whenever we get to play Skyline again, Matt Godo would go for sure again.
Mendez 4-1 with a 2.95. Godo 2-0 with just a little over an ERA of 3. But we've also seen Godo in some relief appearances. But Things are coming together, Coach. Pitching staff's doing their job. Offensively, the bats are livening up as the Mustangs sit 0-3, 4-2 in Tri-Valley League play. Some momentum on your side as you head to the middle part of this 2012 season.
Yeah, I do have one concern a little bit with relief pitching. We did have Ulysses Hernandez go down the second game against Frederick. He pulled his groin during infield-outfield, and we really wanted to get him ready to come in relief for Godo, and he was not able to go. So we're really going to have to baby him through this week and try and get him healed up and try and take care of him so we can have him back, because we think he's one of our best relievers. And we're disappointed that he did have that injury on Thursday. So we're a little concerned there. We're not as deep as we'd like to be relief-wise, and we might have to rely on Matt and David on each other a little bit more. But hopefully we can get him ready to go for this week. Probably not Tuesday, but maybe on Thursday he'll be ready.
Well, we wish him a speedy recovery as the Mustangs 2 Tri-Valley League contests this week. Tuesday at home at Eddie Underwood Field, then hit the road to finish things off against Skyline on Thursday on the road. Josh Langford, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and best of luck this week with 2 baseball games.
Hey, no problem. We appreciate the support.
For Morgan Baseball, 10-3 overall, 6-2 in Tri-Valley League play. Head Mustang baseball coach Josh Langford joins us this afternoon. Coach, riding high, 4-game winning streak, 2 big wins this last week against Skyline High School. A great outing by David Mendez on Tuesday, followed by a team performance on Thursday. Not a bad outing by Godo, but some offensive work at the plate. A grand slam by Aaron Anderson to close things out. Have to be pretty happy with your week.
Yeah, I was. I thought that we played a much more complete game the second time around when we played Skyline. And I thought that the first time we played them, Dave obviously pitched very well and had a good outing there, and that's really was the main factor in the first time. And then the second time was just pretty well-rounded team play. Godo wasn't as sharp as he has been in the past, but still had enough to kind of limit the damage.
Now, Roosevelt lost twice here in the last week, which sits you guys second in Tri-Valley League play, but as we head towards tomorrow and Tuesday's games and this week's games against Sterling, Sterling's not far behind, sitting currently 4-3 and a solid ball club.
Oh, definitely. They beat a good Roosevelt team. They came from behind and beat Erie, and both of those 2 teams are good baseball teams and teams that do well, and it's not going to be easy. I spent some time with the baseball coach from Sterling. We rode up to Longmont together on Sunday, and went up there for Legion scheduling, and really had some interesting conversations on, what he thinks about us and what we think about them, and we just think it's going to be 2 evenly matched teams, and it's going to come down to the end.
Now, it's hard to think, 10-3 overall, only 6 baseball games left in this 2012 season before the playoffs. What are some things that you'd like to see in these last 6 ball games, these last couple weeks from your ball club as you head to the postseason?
We've got to find a way to win 2 games, and we've got to scratch and claw to do it. There won't be any easy games in this stretch, and we're playing against all teams that do have potential to make the playoffs, and nobody's out of it. And it's just going to be something where our kids can't take a couple of innings off, can't take a game off and not show up, because it will come back to haunt us. And we've got to be enthused about the game and, very prepared. And we've got to take practice serious, and I've got to have good game plans for what we're doing in practice to get us ready for games. And just got to make sure that we all are on the same page and are all trying to find a way to win 2 more games. And it doesn't matter if they come 2 in a row or, 1 in between each other or, 1 now and 1 later. We just got to find a way to get 2 wins, and it's not going to be easy.
Offensively, your ball club swinging the bat well. 1 through 9, not always consistent, but there's always those 4 or 5 guys that step up. Aaron Anderson on Tuesday hit 2 baseballs about as hard as you can hit them off the right center field wall, and Thursday was able to get a little more air under it and hit the grand slam. But offensively, things are going well. Just need to obviously see those bats stay hot.
Definitely. We need to keep progressing offensively. I think one thing that we can usually do consistently is throw strikes and make routine plays on defense. We're in the most control of that. Hitting, we don't always have the most control of. Sometimes we hit the ball well and it goes right to somebody, but it would be nice to see the lineup all be hot at the same time and see what would happen with this team. But, the caliber of pitching that we're going to see is going to be tougher. Sterling has a few kids that throw well. Erie may have the best pitcher in the whole conference with the left-hander that they've got. And Roosevelt is a program that just breeds pitching and has kids who throw well and throw hard. And, teams that just don't throw anyone who up there who's just gonna lob them up there for strikes. They're going to throw it by you a few times. So we're just hoping that the bats can stay consistent and we can control our pitching and defense.
Coach Josh Langford joining us this afternoon. Coach, appreciate your time, and we'll see you out there tomorrow, Tuesday, where the Mustangs take on Sterling at home, then hit the road Thursday up I-76 to close out the Tri-Valley League set against the Sterling Tigers. Coach, thank you for your time.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having us, and we appreciate your support.
Fort Morgan baseball team, 12-3 overall, 8-2 in Tri-Valley League play, 6 wins in a row for the Mustangs. Coach Josh Langford. Coach, got to be happy with what happened last week. Your ball club, big win on Tuesday. Much closer ball game on Thursday. David Mendez picks up the win on Tuesday. Hits a big 2-run home run Thursday afternoon to extend the lead, and then comes in and closes things out as your ball game picked up the 7-5 win.
Yeah, it was a couple of tough games. I think Tuesday our offense really showed up, and that was good, and Dave did a good job of shutting them down. And Thursday was incredibly intense and tough game. I thought the boys played very well on both days, and it was just one of those things that we knew it was going to be tougher the second time we saw them. They'd been saving a left-handed pitcher for us, and he'd given us trouble the past couple of years, and luckily we were able to only have to see him for about 3 innings, and then they had to make a change, and their relief pitcher that they brought in did a really good job as well, and kept us in check, and we were never able to really run away with it and had to hang on for dear life till the end.
Fun game to watch. Matt Godo, as always, likes to make things a little bit interesting, but kept your team in the ball game. He threw well, and anticipate as we head towards Erie this week that we'll see the Mendez-Godo 1-2 punch.
Yes, yeah, both guys will be well rested with 1 week rest between starts, so that'll be good for them. And hopefully they can just continue doing what they're doing, and we can put together a few runs for them and play some solid defense and make those routine plays and give us a chance every game.
2 weeks left in this 2012 season before we head to the playoffs as your team sits right now second in Tri-Valley League play. You've got an Erie ball club this week. They're on a little bit of a run. They've won 3 of their 3 in a row and sit 4-4 and 5th in Tri-Valley League play. What do you expect to see from the Erie ball club this week?
Well, they're going to have some good pitching. We're going to see a good left-handed pitcher again that throws hard, stays in the outside corner, and makes you go the other way. And, really it kind of comes down to the umpire a little bit. Is the umpire going to give him the outside corner or give him just off the plate outside for a strike? And are we going to be forced to hit that pitch, or are we going to be able to take it for a ball? So, obviously, we've got to work on hitting the ball the other way and trying to make sure that we don't pull the outside pitch and we go with it and hit it where it's pitched.
Now, we've talked before about, especially last week, you wanted to see your bats come alive a little bit in 1 through 9. And that seemed to happen on Tuesday. Everybody seemed to be able to put the ball in play and make some things happen. Thursday, Aaron Anderson got intentionally walked 3 times, and he's been on a little bit of a hot streak. But for the most part, Thursday, everybody seemed to contribute in some capacity offensively. It's as we head towards this series, your ball club seems to be heating up.
Well, they're getting there, I think. We still have a few guys that we'd like to kind of join in the fun, and we might see a few new looks possibly this week. We got some guys that do hit the outside pitch a little bit better than others, and we might give them a shot to swing. But we would love to see a lineup of 1 through 9 guys that are putting the ball in play and mixing in a few hits, and that would be great. I think that Cole Frisbee has done a pretty good job behind Aaron Anderson, and if people continue to walk him to get to Cole, Cole's going to have to make him pay, and he's really going to have to step up. But I do think he did a good job. I thought he hit a great line drive right back to the pitcher on a hit and run that definitely would have scored a run if that had gotten through. But, he also got a hit behind Aaron as well in that game at Sterling. So he's doing good. I think that if I were them, I probably would have done the same thing too and walked Aaron to get to Cole. But I think Cole is doing a good job to back him up, and hopefully he can keep doing that and make teams pay.
Yeah, that hit and run could have really broken that game open, but that catcher got a glove up in time, which saved the game really for his team. Mendez head into this week, Coach, 6-1 with a save, and he's been lights out.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. I just hope he can continue that and really, hunker down here at the end of the year and continue what he's done thus far. I thought, certain days that maybe he didn't have his best stuff, but that is probably good enough for him, obviously, to keep winning games. And I'm hoping that this week's off of rest, a little bit of momentum after that Sterling save. I know he was extremely excited about that, threw the ball real hard in relief there, and hopefully he can throw hard against Erie, because that's what it's going to take to beat these guys. These guys are tough. They're well coached, and it's going to be one of those games where pitching hopefully can keep each other in check, and it's going to come down to the end. And both games are obviously going to be well managed, and at the end of the game, it's going to be tight. So we're going to have to find a way to put these together. Erie is, they really need these wins bad. They're not going to be pitching, their number 4 guy at us or anything like that. They're going to be bringing their best that they have because they need the wins, and it's going to be a good test for us.
And you mentioned bringing the best. I mean, you've got this Erie Ball Club this week, but then you face the Roosevelt Rough Riders squad the following week starting Saturday they're on a little bit of a slide, but by no means does their record reflect the type of ball club they're capable of being.
Exactly. They're well coached, and they're a good team too. I talked to their coach on Sunday, and they said that they get people on base, but just haven't had the clutch hits to drive somebody in. And it's really makes the coach nervous knowing that they're right there on the edge, and they just need a couple of breakthrough hits to really open up the floodgates. And I just hope that that doesn't happen to us. But Roosevelt is just one of those teams that you know what you're going to get when you play them. It's going to be a good game. They really haven't been blown out that much this year. They're playing good baseball, just aren't getting the clutch hits. And hopefully, we can keep those guys in check, and it doesn't happen against us. But the scary thing is that they are due, and I know that.
This Tuesday, Erie at Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan. Then the Mustangs hit the road Thursday to finish the series with Erie on the road. Then Saturday at Roosevelt. All 4 baseball games important for the Mustangs, and all 4 games important for Erie and Roosevelt as well. It'll be an exciting week of baseball. Coach Langford, appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you out there tomorrow.
No problem. Thanks for your support, and we appreciate all the fans listening at home. He's very good. He's pitched well all year long. He's beat some good teams, and we just didn't compete against him. It was kind of too little too late with him, and then too little too late with the other kid from Erie. And I think our guys got to play with more urgency, and we've got a group of guys that are just satisfied right now and just put it in cruise control. And that's a problem that these guys have had throughout their whole history with whether it be summer baseball or spring baseball. There's just times where they need to get a fire lit under them so that way they play to their capability and to their potential, because they've done it in the past, so we expect them to do it all the time. And sometimes we do see some good pitching, and we just don't string them together. But to get held to 2 runs in 14 innings is not excusable, and I think it's a matter of effort and a matter of enthusiasm, and we just didn't have it because we're satisfied.
A lot of interesting things happening right now in the league. I mean, Sterling beats a Northridge ball club and then comes out the next time out and loses to a Frederick ball club. Your ball club on the 7-game winning streak, playing well, and then runs into some troubles this week. I guess that's just the nature of the game.
Yeah, I guess so. I think Erie and obviously Roosevelt were playing for quite a bit, and they need to get themselves into the playoffs and assure themselves a spot. And I think they wanted it more than our guys did, and that was the bottom line. I think that they played with more urgency and more desire, and our kids have got to find that because we don't want to go into the postseason with a 3-game losing streak.
Now, looking ahead to Tuesday, Coach, just from my point of view, it looks like your team's starting to struggle a little bit at the plate. We've talked in recent weeks about getting everybody hot 1 through 9. That started to pick up a little bit a week and a half ago, but as we head towards Tuesday, guys struggling to drive the ball the other way, guys falling behind in a lot of counts, not being aggressive early. What, if anything, has changed as far as the thought process is concerned, or what has to happen to get these hitters back on track?
Yeah, our kids need to quit playing mind games with themselves. If their first at-bat maybe is not as productive as they want it to be, it doesn't mean that their next at-bat has to be that way. And they're taking previous innings with them to their next inning and to their next at-bat, and they've got to stop doing that. And if we stop playing these head games with ourselves, we'll be all right, and we can, overcome some adversity. In this game, it's all about failure, and you are going to fail. And you got to realize that that's part of the game. You're not going to be a 800 hitter. That just doesn't happen in this game. And we got to learn to rebound and compete a little bit more instead of lay down and just kind of go through the motions. And I think that we're going to have a long talk, and we're going to work on some things in practice, and we're going to learn to fight. And if we don't do that, and if we don't find it, I'm not going to feel good about going into the playoffs.
Not to revisit much of Saturday, but your team, for the most part, this 2012 season defensively has been lights out. Not too many extra opportunities created on the defensive side of things, the standard errors throughout the season, obviously. But Saturday, your ball club just struggled to play simple catch as it didn't create extra opportunities. It just moved runners up and gave Roosevelt a couple runs that they didn't necessarily need.
Yeah, it was weird. It's kind of like you said, it wasn't a standard error or something that, happens, that you see often, but the guys just kind of threw the ball around a little bit, and I don't know why that happened, but it did. And we had some pass balls with runners on base where they got free 90-foot chunks and move up into scoring position and move from second to third, or one time we had runners on first and second, pass ball or wild pitch. Then guys moved to second and third without even having to put the ball in play, and that hurts. And that's between the pitcher and the catcher that, we've got to do a better job of getting closer to the strike zone and having a pitch that we can handle, especially with those runners on base. But, man, I thought Dave settled in well through a great game after the third inning and kept us in the ball game, and our offense just, never did get anything going against Quintana, and that curveball of his kept us off balance. We didn't swing at it very often, and he threw it early in the count, and he was able to drop him in for a strike. So I got to tip your cap to him because he was able to get ahead of us.
Yeah, and it's not something that's happened to your ball club all year. Only 3 games this season, you scored fewer than 5 runs. So not typical of your club. Imagine with practice under their belt here today, they'll be ready to go here tomorrow. The team sits 13-5, 9-4 in Tri-Valley League play. With Mendez throwing Saturday, Coach likely go out on the mound tomorrow to wrap the season up, or any other ideas or thoughts with that?
No, we'll go with Matt Godot and see how long he can go. And I thought he had an excellent last 2 outings. Against Erie, he was fantastic, and against Sterling before that, he was fantastic. So I feel good anytime we got him or Mendez on the mound, and he'll have 4 days rest. So he'll be in good shape, ready to go, I imagine.
Well, Coach, appreciate the time. Tuesday, tomorrow, 4 o'clock. The 2012 regular season wraps up with Roosevelt. Wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you out there.
We appreciate it, and we also appreciate all the support and people at home listening.
Head Mustang baseball coach Josh Langford joins us this afternoon. Coach, 4A district tournament on Saturday. Could have been a lot worse as far as travel is concerned. You guys only have to head down the road to Northridge. You're the 22nd seed in the tournament out of the 32-team bracket, and you're set to face the 11th seed in Longmont.
Yeah, it actually turned out to be a good thing. We could have possibly went to Durango or Montrose, and we were pleased that we only have to go an hour away and get to sleep in our own beds and take batting practice on our own field before we head up there. And I think it worked out for the better, and we've obviously got 4 good teams that are going to be there. All 4 teams have 13-6 records, so everyone knows how to win.
Yeah, and looking at the numbers, Coach, your ball club batting .324 on the season. The Longmont Ball Club you're going to face bats .327. You guys like to run the bases, 28 stolen bases this year. The Longmont Ball Club has 25. Pitching staff's pretty evenly matched with your team ERA at .376. The Longmont Ball Club .393. So evenly matched as far as records and numbers are concerned. Do you have any inside information or know what you're getting into here as you face this Longmont baseball team on Saturday?
Well, when we were a member of the Northern Conference, we played against them for several years, and they've got a coach, Tom Phobes, who's been there forever. He's been around for 20 years there and runs a class program and really does a good job teaching the fundamentals to the kids. And boy, can they hit, and they can hit the other way very well. We've kind of found that out from the years we've played against each other in the Northern, and it was just a tough draw for us, but I think anyone we play at this point in the season is going to be tough, and if you want to move on, you've got to beat somebody who's good, and obviously for us it starts with Longmont, with them being a member of the Northern Conference, probably the strongest conference in the state, and they were runner-up in that conference, which means that they are a legitimate team, and if we don't play our best, we will not move on.
You talk about the other teams in this district. You've got the Coronado baseball team down from the Colorado Springs Metro Plains League, and then a team we're very familiar with in the Northridge Grizzlies. We saw them earlier this year twice. A win on Saturday at 12:30. You'd play the winner of that Northridge Coronado baseball game that will take place at 10 a.m.
Yeah, obviously I think that Northridge is a very strong team, and I would favor them at this point. But Coronado is a team that obviously knows how to win because they do have 13 wins. I've seen some of their scores and kind of matched them up with Sierra. They played a couple of scores similar to how Sterling beat Sierra. So I could see them as being a team like Sterling. And I think we all know from the season and how it's went, Sterling actually beat Northridge this year. So there's obviously a chance that a caliber team like that can beat Northridge, and it's going to be anybody's game. And we've got to find a way to make it through Longmont before we can even worry about who that second game will be. We have our hands full.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit of a crazy year. Weather may play a little bit of an issue. You got to love the Colorado weather. Rain in the forecast. We've been 70, 80 degrees most of the season. Really no issues this season as far as weather's concerned, which is unlikely of years past. But rain in the forecast Friday, rain again Saturday. What, if any, issues is the weather going to play in deciding some of these outcomes?
I know that CHASA has already gave us a heads up that we will play the games on Sunday if weather does not allow us to on Saturday. So for us, it just means another day of practice and another day of preparation to get ready to play on Sunday. And we've done it in the past. 2 years ago, when we made districts, we had to play Thomas Jefferson on the Sunday. And Sundays have been good to us, and that was a good day for the Mustangs as we upset Thomas Jefferson that year. And we definitely wouldn't be opposed. We're ready to play, and we've had a nice break. I believe it'll be 11 days in between games, and we're excited to get back on the field again and play anybody.
13-6 overall, Coach, this season. 9-5 Tri-Valley League play. Highlight of the year, nice 7-game winning streak. Your ball club got on a good roll. Struggled a little bit late with that 3-game losing streak. What have you worked on in practice in that 11-day break to get ready here for this game against Longmont?
The biggest focus has been hitting and situational hitting, whether it be first and third situations or runner on third situations, with trying to find a way to drive them in with a ground ball past the pitcher or by bunting the ball and kind of executing when we've got those guys in scoring position. So that's been our biggest area of focus, and hopefully we can do that on Saturday where we get in those situations, we can drive people in instead of leave people on base.
Pitching-wise, Godo and Mendez lights out this year. Godo finished the regular season with a 3.17 ERA. Mendez at 2.75. I assume you got what you wanted out of them the majority of the year. They kept your team in every ballgame and gave your team the chance to win. I imagine playoffs, we're going to see a variety or a combination of the both of them in some capacity to win that first game?
Definitely. You can't play for a second game if you don't get past the first. And we're going to definitely start Dave and come back relief with Godo or Ulysses, depending upon the situation. But we do want Matt Godo to come in relief if we needed to. I thought he's had some good outings in relief this season thus far, and we wouldn't hesitate to use him one bit. I've also been very happy with Ulysses and his relief appearances and thought he's done an outstanding job. So it's nice to have three guys that you can depend on to have a good outing.
Coach, Ulysses Hernandez has been a nice surprise this season. What is it that gives him, obviously his arm angles give him the benefit, but with those varying arm angles and his off-speed pitches, what really gives these opponents that fit?
Well, I think he's been able to throw the curveball for strike early in the count and kind of throw a pitch that they're not looking for. And his ability to have command of that submarine or sidearm fastball and have that run in on the righties and away from the lefties. You might think it starts in the middle of the plate and it just tails right into their hands or off the plate from a lefty. And I think his ability to get ahead with the off-speed and then come back with some of the submarine different type arm angles have been his definite keys for success.
Pitching staff obviously has played a huge role in the team's success this year. Imagine the three of those gentlemen are going to dictate a lot of what goes on here Saturday and how they get out on that field and perform. You mentioned offensively. Your ball club's been working on some situational hitting to step up here in the game on Saturday. Defensively, you guys have pretty much been lights out all year. We saw a little bit of a fluke with there in that Roosevelt game, not characteristic of your ball club. But what, if any, changes or what, if anything, defensively have you worked on in this break to make sure your ball club's ready to go on the defensive side of the baseball field?
You know, we won't change anything really position player-wise, but we've just kind of stuck with our routines that we do as far as our infielder routines, our outfielder routines, and our catcher routines. And we really think that those routines help keep us sharp as infielders. We've done a lot of what we call 21 outs, which is a simulated game where we play defense for 21 outs, pop-up priority as a team. Just covering up all of our priorities as far as who's got fly balls or shallow fly balls or infield fly balls. And it's just kind of a continuation of what we did from the season into the playoffs. And you get a few more opportunities to work on it when you got an 11-day break, and it's been good for us.
Coach, your ball club plays on Saturday, 12:30 against the Longmont Trojans out of the 4A Northern League. 4A District Baseball this Saturday. Northridge plays Coronado, 10 a.m. The Mustangs in action against Longmont, 12:30. The winner of those two baseball games will play at 3 o'clock. We'd like to thank Coach Josh Langford for joining us this afternoon and really all season long on the Mustang Express. We'll be back with opening pitch, 4A District Baseball. The Fort Morgan Mustangs taking on the Longmont Trojans. You're listening to Mustang Baseball, B106, B106.com.